Go ahead.
Thanks a lot, Chair. I want to thank all the colleagues for their contributions, and I want to thank again Rapporteur Wikström for her tremendous efforts and work. And I would like to shortly present our position. The whole approach of my amendments is based on a basic principle. People who are fleeing wars and persecution are not fleeing towards a particular member state, they are fleeing towards the European Union. Therefore, the EU should take responsibility, act in solidarity and ensure a fair sharing of responsibility on asylum, as already foreseen in Articles 78 and 80 of the treaties. This Parliament has already, more than once, and with huge majorities, asked for the common European solution that we need. So to be coherent with what we have voted in the Metsola-Kyenge resolution of April 2016, asking to overcome the first country of entry criterion towards a true centralisation of responsibilities at the EU level, we have deleted the first country of entry principle as the core and closure principle of the Dublin system. And also the threshold, because they implicitly accept the logic of the first country of irregular entry. And we have developed instead a system based on a hierarchy of criteria and on a centralised, permanent and automatic allocation mechanism that also takes into consideration, to the extent possible, the meaningful links of the applicants. We deleted, as Rapporteur Wikström did, the inadmissibility checks because they could create a very dangerous and discretionary filter to asylum seekers. I fully agree also with the Rapporteur's proposal to give highest priority to family reunification with a specific light family reunification procedure, especially when it comes to minors. We are also proposing a broadening of the family notion beyond what proposed by the Commission in order to better reflect the complex reality of family links of applicants. We do not support the sanction approach proposed by the Commission and propose instead a logic based on incentivating compliance and disincentivating secondary movements. We also don't support the principle of permanent responsibility, the restrictions to the effective remedy and to the discretionary clause. We deleted the financial solidarity contribution because we are convinced that there should not be any way to buy out from solidarity for member states and to monetise human rights. We also strengthened provision on information for the applicants, on safeguard for minors and their best interest assessment, and the procedural rights of the applicants. Now, how would the system that we manage work? And we give it as a contribution to the work that we have ahead of us in the shadow meetings. First of all, registration in the first country, the light family reunification procedure as proposed by Rapporteur Wikström, the other Dublin criteria, including the possibility of sponsorship that we included following the successful example of Canada. A person or organisation that satisfied certain requirements might take care of an applicant until the application has been examined. And if none of these criteria apply, colleagues, the responsibility would be determined by a central allocation mechanism that first of all would consider meaningful links of the applicants, like previous stay, academic titles issued by a member state, language skills or broader family links. Member states are strongly incentivized to take into consideration the meaningful links. Since every member state has to do its part, it's easier to start from people who have a connection and will be easier to integrate in the receiving society rather than waiting for an automatic allocation. When the applicant has a sponsor, a further incentive is to be partly relieved from the cost of reception, since the applicants would be hosted by the respective sponsors. If applicants do not have meaningful links or member states refuse to consider them, then the automatic allocation should apply, giving a certain degree of choice among 6 member states that are the farther from reaching their reference number. This would help empowering applicants, building mutual trust and ensuring compliance with the system. This option of choosing should not be available in 2 cases: when an applicant has given a false information on the presence of a family member in a certain member state, or when the applicant has not registered in the first country and engaged into a secondary movement. In these 2 cases, as proposed by Rapporteur Wikström, the allocation would be automatic chosen randomly by the system to a member state. This way we created a coherent system and we eliminated any potential incentive to secondary movements, creating the grounds for an effective, sustainable and fair Dublin system. With our amendments, what we have tried to do is to demonstrate that another Dublin is possible. A system that does not find its closure in overburdening or punishing the member states that find themselves at the hot borders of our union. So I conclude by appealing to you, colleagues. I appeal to you. This is the third time that the Dublin regulation is under revision. Are we able to finally fix it? Are we able to act responsibly when the Council is not? I think we should sit at the table and confront the shameful debate of the Council with not only an ambitious position, but a strong will to show citizens that yes, together we can make it, and if equally shared, it is an effort that becomes sustainable for everyone. In these difficult days, it is not only about creating an effective Dublin system, but much beyond that, it is about showing our citizens why the EU is needed when the challenges we are facing, as Cecilia said, are European and global, and no member state can possibly make it alone. It's about saving the credibility of the European project, and I'm very much looking forward to work with all of you in the shadow meetings. Thanks.